Up next, we have the season finale, Revenge.
The best episode ever. Revenge is without a doubt a fantastic episode. But, on to the review. What did you think of Revenge, Ronin?
Ooh, I fear we're going to have some conflicting reviews here, man. Alright, well, this episode was good. Probably the best finale we've had in a long time. But it was in no way perfect. In fact, it was almost a bit of a letdown in comparison to the previous 3 episodes.
Really? This episode totally made up for Season 4 as far as I see. The only episode from the last 3 that comes even close enough is episode Bounty. This episode I knew was going to be good even before it aired.
I agree that it was a good episode, and I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. But now that some of the excitement has died down, I noticed there are a lot more flaws in it that still bother me. Not nearly as much as some other episodes, mind you, but it still wasn't as good as it could have been.
That's why Maul and Savage will probably be back in Season 5, because obviously it wasn't that good of an episode, because no one died in the ending fight, which doesn't bother me at all. Maul and Savage got some action in before the season was over, and Maul shouldn't even be picked on. Lucas knows he made a big mistake killing him off, so bringing him back was the best idea. It was totally worth it. You can't blame Maul, he only had 15 minutes for revenge. Now, what were you saying about the flaws in this episode?
Alright, my complaints about this episode have nothing to do with Maul's resurrection. There's nothing wrong with him coming back to life. Star Wars has done it 1,000,000 times before.
Well, this episode is really all about Maul. That's why it's called Revenge.
You know what really bothered me? The fact that as soon as Maul regained his sanity, he slipped into stereotypical villain mode. He was monologuing to Obi-Wan instead of killing him, for instance.
That's because Maul wanted to prolong Obi-Wan's suffering by taunting and beating him up, for example. He was about to kill him, but that was when Ventress showed up. Still a good scene, though.
I know that, but how many times in Star Wars has a villain been defeated by monologuing? Answer, almost every time.
Well, remember, villains have no values, really. Most of them taunt and blob, because that's just what they do, which most of them have done their entire lives. Just like how much of the time the hero always wants to save him. That's where the talking also comes in. Well, Maul appeared like in, 6 scenes in the Phantom Menace movie, and talked like in 1 scene, but he still was cool. Now that he is talking, it's even more cool, because we get to hear his expressions and feelings after all these years. A silent Maul would have been a weird idea. Like, for example, this is Savage here. Brother, who did this to you? Maul. Silence. Maul is in a rage, and if you put me or you in that situation, we'd probably be as well. Maul's hate, as he said, was the only thing keeping him alive all these years.
Ooh, you wouldn't know the depths that I've been through to stay alive, fueled by my singular hatred for you. Crazy Maul was cool, and don't get me wrong, Maul is still great here, but he doesn't seem as scary as he once was. I agree, it is good to have Maul talking for once, and through the amazing voice actor of Sam Witwer, too. But he really lost some of his threatening feel as soon as he started talking about how he must have revenge for his missing legs.
Not just for his legs, but also for the pain Obi-Wan put him through all those years. I mean, isolated on a planet all by yourself, no one to talk to, he lost his pride, and of course his legs. In my mind, Maul has every right to be mad. The one thing I didn't like was the killing of the children, but when someone is out for revenge, you know they'll do just about anything to get it. A same fact about real life as well.
I didn't like that part either, but it made sense in the context of the villain. Maul is obviously darker, eviler, and more realistically evil than Cad Lame. But I still don't like that Maul ended up being more of a letdown than I originally thought he would be in Brothers. Don't get me wrong, I still love revenge, and Maul is the best Sith ever. It was just kind of hoping that they would keep his crazy aspect more.
Cad Bane is a weakling, as Savage would put it. He did have it at the beginning of the episode Revenge. He's just more serious, you can say, because he wants to get Obi-Wan badly. I say don't lose faith in Maul, anyone. We will probably see a good deal of him in Season 5, and maybe even see him in a more twisted perspective. Maul only got one episode for Revenge, and I say he gave us all a very good show for the time that we did see him in.
I agree. But somehow I get the feeling that the next episode will feature Maul killing a bunch of expendable Jedi. And if that's the case, you can bet at least one of them will be a Rodian.
Obviously, they're going to go after Maul, and I seriously doubt a Rodian is going to die by the hands of Maul. We don't even know what Season 5 is about yet. So let's jump to conclusions, please. If the Jedi go after Maul, then that's their own fault. Maul just wants to face Obi-Wan.
I'm mostly going off of what Maul said about waiting for Jedi to come after him. I can just envision it to now. Of course, I could still be wrong, but I have made some true predictions over the course of the show.
I don't want any Jedi to die either, but let's not assume anything. How about before we end this review, Ronin, let's talk about some things we want to see in Season 5.
Alright, but first we have to give our final ratings for Revenge. Eric?
Alright, after an interesting conversation with you about Maul, I think I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 5. Yes, you heard me. As you know, I had a few problems with this episode as well, like the massacre of the children, and some other things as well. But other than that, this episode was perfect. Bringing back Maul was the greatest idea ever. The season finale was definitely worth it.
I agree that this was a good episode, and the banter between Ventress and Obi-Wan alone warrants a viewing. However, with more focus on action and less on character, this wasn't quite as good as some of the greats like Bounty or Carnage of Krell. My final rating would be 3.5 out of 5.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Ronin and I will spend the next few minutes going over Season 5. We will be giving out our predictions. Alright, Ronin, I know we both got lists, but what is one huge thing you would like to see in Season 5? Or an episode about something in particular?
Alright, you probably could have guessed it, but here we go. Drumroll. A Rodian main character that doesn't die.
Alright, I like the sound of that. So, if you do get your wish and there is a Rodian coming, what would an episode be about with him in it?
You know what? I honestly wouldn't care. But if I had to choose, I would love to have it about the Rodian Jedi interacting with some of the citizens of Star Wars. People often forget how interesting the inhabitants of the Star Wars galaxy really are.
Now, that is an episode I would love to see. Bringing a Rodian Jedi into the Clone Wars is definitely something they need to do.
I can only dream. But they would most likely kill him off. So that was number 1 on my wish list. But another thing would be to have more character development for Savage Opress.
Something they should have done in this season. But, oh well. Is there anything else you would like to see in Season 5, Ronin? Any new characters you would like to see?
To be honest, most of my desires wouldn't fit with the theme of the show, so the most I can ask for is better treatment of innocence in Star Wars, and for more episodes to be focused on good characters, rather than Wyneken and Cad Lame.
Very interesting and agreeable ideas you put down, Ronin. Hey, maybe Maul is the one who kills Bane. You never know. Alright. The one thing I want to see in Season 5, but I'll cut it into 2 parts. I would like to see something similar to what we saw in the episodes Revenge, Bounty, Carnage of Krell. I want to see massive battles besides droids versus clones. Like Jedi versus Sith or something new. Or Count Dooku versus Maul would be an epic battle. Or episode. There are many things I'm sure we all want to see. And if anyone watching this would like to give his or her opinion, or would like or would like to put down what they think will happen in Season 5, please comment below. We would love to read it.
Agreed. And if you liked this episode of the Ronin and Eric Show, be sure to subscribe.
This is 013 EK. May the Force be with you all.